What is going on, everybody? Live stream number five underway. My 5th live stream ever. Kind of crazy that this is my 5th one. It feels a lot better than the first one. The first one was a train wreck, at least in my opinion, but they've slowly gotten better over time. And I feel like this channel, my YouTube videos have gotten better over time. So, and if you are catching this live stream, or if you're catching this on the rewatch, today's live stream, I'm just answering questions. I've been backed up with questions just for miscellaneous reasons. I've had to study for my real estate licensing exam. But good news, if you didn't catch my videos, is that I passed my test. What's up, Jashim? How's it going? So I passed my test on Tuesday, and I'm actually employed as of today. So I signed on with a company, Keller Williams, the one in Walnut Creek. So again, if you're catching this live stream later on, which isn't live anymore, the playback, today I'll be answering questions that I had. So just people that are asking me in my regular videos. So I have about 10 or so questions, and then also obviously interact with you all and then answer any questions. So it should be a good time. I'm trying out this new time at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday to see how that works. I think last time with Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m., they were roughly the same in terms of analytics. So, hey, Jen, how's it going? Thank you so much. It feels a weight has been lifted off my shoulders in terms of I don't have to study anymore. Because I was spending, a couple hours every single day, at least for the last 2 weeks or so, but obviously more before that, a little bit every day, but it was in hyperdrive the last couple of days. So what's up, Ryan? Let's go, Vince. Let's go, Ryan. What's going on? Fastest recruiting story I've ever heard. It's actually, in terms of the real estate agents and the firms, it's like yes, it's an interview, but the interview is kind of informal, or this is at least what I've been told, is because with real estate agents in California, it's 100% commission, right? So, and then it also costs money to hang your license up with a firm. So it's not free. Even if I sign on with them, it's good for them because one, I'm paying the fee to hang my license. And then two, if I don't sell anything, they don't lose any money. And then if I sell, then they make money, I make money. So it's kind of like a win-win for both parties. But I know a lot of firms, or this is what I've been told, is firms are more than willing to sign agents, a lot of them, just because the more agents they have, the more people they have out in the field, the more people that have on the field, the more likely they are of, selling. So it's good for everyone. Originally I was going back and forth with the same firm, Keller Williams, but in just different areas in Sacramento. But I ended up deciding to choose Walnut Creek just because Walnut Creek is only about 15 minutes away or so. And thanks, Drew. The Walnut Creek location is just down the street, 15 minutes away. And because before, because I have a lot of family and friends in Sacramento, so I thought maybe I need to work in the Sacramento office, because in order to take advantage of my network over there. But with how it works out is you can pretty much do everything from your computer. Obviously, if you have to show houses, I have to drive there. But for the most part, I can do my research online, through the multiple listing service. And that's why I chose Keller Williams in Walnut Creek, because it's only 15 minutes away. If I chose Sacramento, I would have had to drive, an hour there and then an hour back. So that's why I chose Walnut Creek. So What's going on, everybody? Congratulations. Thank you. Run with Grace. Run for Grace. I'm sorry. Thanks, Drew, for the lighting. Hey, Jen. Hey, what's poppin'? Just sneaking in between meetings at work. Thanks for stopping by, Chris. I know the time zones are a lot different. I believe you're in the UK, I want to say, or Australia, one of those. One of those. So today, what we have in store is I just wrote down a couple questions or typed it. They're actually in the description, so I'll just be going through those questions and then going a little bit more in depth. So 10 a.m. Friday, Australia. Wow. See, I honestly, I'm not sure if it's just me as a Californian or an American, but it's really hard for me to tell the difference between Australian accents and British accents. Like it all kind of sounds the same. And I just assume that you're either from one of those. So cool. 6 minutes in, we'll give it about another minute, and then I'll just start answering questions, and then any questions y'all might have too. Appreciate the 7 people that are here. So yeah, the lighting is pretty good. It's like right in my face though. It feels kind of weird because I can see it in my peripheral. Yeah. I used to be so good at telling accents apart, but the older I get, the worse I get. I hear you. Yeah. Jen, where are you from? I'm curious because you always have super nice backgrounds, and I got to get some of that backgrounds in my videos. But I also kind of hate filming out and about because it's not like super windy where I'm from, but it does catch that wind, even though I have a wind muff. So it just catches that wind, and it's just a little annoying. Plus, I don't have a wireless lav mic, so it's like a shotgun mic. And also, I mean, the weather right now is just really bad in the Bay Area with all the fires. It's been like super, just smoky outside, and I haven't been able to run outside for about a month. It's kind of crazy. So Dr. B, hey buddy, I bought the Garmin 235. Thanks for your video. Hey, I hope you enjoy the Garmin 235. I think it's great. Like I love it. I mean, for the price point, it's really hard to beat. I guess something that I didn't mention in the video, in the review video, is that for the Garmin 235, as you can see, there's the face is, like teal, right? So, because I bought this off of Facebook Marketplace, and unfortunately, you can't change the teal on the watch face itself. So that's a bummer. But I mean, I actually don't really mind it. It's only a little bit of teal, but if I could have it, I would have it red or black. But I mean, it is what it is. But great watch. I love it as a runner. Great watch. Oh, Toronto, Canada. There's a lot of you from Toronto, Jen. Not a lot of you. There's a few of you. There's Kevin E's from that area, and then also Lynn Share is from that area. So they're both small YouTubers as well. So that'd be cool if you guys can connect. We bug a lot of friends and families to invite us to their beautiful backgrounds and up north. Nice. Are the fires good? Yeah, the fires are getting better. I believe one of them is 100% contained. I checked 2 days ago. One of them's like 91%, and the other one's it was 95. So that was a few days ago. But yesterday, it was worse in San Francisco. But where I was from, it was literally orange outside. It felt like Mad Max, and it just feels like we're living. I mean, it already feels like we're living in a movie, but it feels like it. Yesterday was. I woke up. I was like, "Whoa, this is insane." It was just orange for the whole day. So. I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully it clears up soon. So Kiara, what's up, Kiara? What's up, Brian? Hanging with Vince Lou. How about you? That rhymes. Kevin E, also from the 6. Is that what they call it? The 6? Kevin is best, and I'll have to check out Lynn. Lynn is Lin, Linchear. So he does reviews, or he's like more of like a tech channel. He does like reviews, but he's also into like jujitsu. Lynn Share, I'll type it in right there. Linchear. Lynn Share, there you go. So he's a cool guy. We're actually going to be doing something together pretty soon because he does jujitsu as well. So Cool. I remember them days when I used to live in Cali. Those fires are, yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, they get wild. I mean, I when I was a kid, I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, oh, it's a fire. But now that I'm older and they're like happening all the time now, it feels like it just feels insane. So, all right, cool. Let me get to a couple questions and then, I have about 10 questions or so. So I'll answer like 2 or 3 and then hop back on to the live chat. And then I'll just, go through the live chat. And if you have any questions or comments, I'll comment. I'll talk about it or whatever it is. So first thing, Jashim, he's actually here. So he asked a question, how much are you deadlifting? Where is your belt? So nowadays I'm deadlifting 315 beltless conventional barbell. And 315 is not too terribly heavy for me, to be honest, but I really want to fix up my form. I'm definitely not bracing my core enough. And I've actually never braced my core, to be honest with you. And I've always just kind of like pulled. Once it gets around 275, that's when you can kind of see my lower back like arch a little, is it arch? Or, like just round. That's what it is. So my back rounds a little bit. So 315, I just want to clean it up a little bit. So to actually push my like front abs out so that it can negate the effects of the rounding of the back. Because one of the issues that I have, especially when it gets really heavy around 405, there's a lot of rounding. But right now, it's been a little bit difficult for me to connect everything in terms of the deadlift, because usually when I make the stance, I'll have, I'll grab the bar and then I have a checklist in my head. I'll go, okay, grab the bar, feet over the bar, grab the bar, shoulders over the bar, pull my shoulders back, chest up, butt out, arch my back, and then pull. So that's without the bracing of the core. But nowadays, even that just one little thing of, oh, I got to brace my core, it kind of throws everything off, because then I forget to like pull my shoulders back, especially if I'm doing more than 1 rep. If I'm doing 1 rep, it's not that bad. But if I'm doing like sets of 3, sets of 5, it's a little bit harder and my form sucks. So definitely trying to just fix my form. And in terms of a belt, I'm not that big of a fan of a belt, to be honest with you. I rarely ever wear a belt. The only time I ever wear a belt, and I probably wear it, I don't know, once or twice a year, is when I like max out. Though even when I max out, I don't like the belt. I feel like it impedes me. I also, when I started doing deadlifts, serious deadlifts right around 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I was working as a trainer at that point, and there was one of the other trainers who's like, look, let me put you on a back strengthening program. It'll strengthen your back a lot. And I was like, all right. I mean, because he's huge and he's deadlifting. He did 405 for, I think, like 30 reps, but he was a big dude. And I was like, all right, if I'm going to listen to anyone to build my back strength, I'm going to listen to you. So he put me on this program, and it was a beltless program. And after that, I haven't gone back to a belt. And the program is like really simple. I made a video about it a long time ago, where it's just, you do 4 exercises. It's the conventional barbell deadlifts. All the first 3 exercises are all barbell. So barbell conventional deadlift. And then you'll have the bent over overhand rows, bent over underhand rows, and then the back extension. And then the progression for each week is you start off with 10 pounds on each side. So 65 pounds. So 65 pounds for each exercise except for the back extension. So first week, you're doing the conventional deadlifts, overhand rows, and then underhand rows. And then all exercises, you do 5 sets of 20. 5 sets of 20. So it's a lot of volume. And then each and every week, you go up by 10 pounds on each side. So it first starts out as 65 pounds for the first 3 exercises. And then when you do the back extension, you do it with no weights, 5 by 20. And then week 2, you're doing 85 pounds now. So 85 pounds for 5 sets of 20 for the deadlifts, the rows, and then the 2 types of rows. And then with the back extension, now you're putting a 5-pound plate. So you're going to put the 5-pound plate, and then moving forward, each and every week, you up the weights by 20 pounds on the deadlifts and the rows, and then 5 pounds on the back extension. So I did that program, and my deadlift shot up by 40 pounds, which is a ton. I was deadlifting 365, 375, but it got me up to 405. That was when my first hit 405. And with that program, I've done that program multiple times. Sometimes I didn't work all the way up. And then a lot of times, like the second and third time, I modified the program, because once you start doing the deadlifts aren't an issue in terms, okay, forgot to mention something really key. So something really key is you'll do 5 by 20. And then as you build up weight, because then it's going to get heavier and heavier, and you're not going to be able to do 5 by 20 all the way through. So you start tapering off the reps. So once it gets heavy enough, to like 185, you might do 5 sets of 18 or 5 sets of 16. So you'll drop sets, right? So, but the first couple of weeks, it's really easy, because doing 5 sets of 20 of 65, 85, 105, that's doable. But it will get up to a certain point to where, I can't do this weight anymore. That's when you start tapering off. And then you'll subtract like 1 or 2 reps. So by the time you hit 145, 165, 185, 205, 225, now you're doing 5 sets of, 15, 16, 17, whatever it is. And then you'll work all the way up. So you're always doing the 5 sets no matter what. And then you'll go all the way up. And then by that time, I was doing 5 sets of 315 for 12 reps per set. And I was repping 5 sets of 12. It was insane. I was so strong. That was the first time I did it too. But then obviously with the rows, you can't row that much. I can't row 315. So with the rows, it gets to a certain point where when I was increasing by 10, it was getting too heavy. So I only worked up to about like 185 to 225. And then I just stuck with the 5 sets of 10 or 5 sets of 8 or whatever I could do. And the next time around, the second and third time that I did the program, I switched it up to where when I would start with the deadlifts, I would increase by 20 pounds on 10 pounds on each side. So 20 pounds collectively all together each and every week. So that was a non-negotiable. I was going up. So it goes, 65, 85, all the way up to like 305, 325, 345, 365. But then with the rows, instead of increasing by 20 pounds a week, because 20 pounds a week for rows is too much, because it'll get to a certain point where it's way too much. So instead of increasing by 20 pounds altogether, I increased by 10. So 10 per week. So when I first started out, it was, 65 for the deadlifts first week, 65 for the overhand rows, and then body weight for the back extensions. But then week 2, I would go 85 for the deadlifts, but then only 75 for the rows, because then you'll still like build that back. And then also the rows were a bent over as well. And then strict rows at first, but then once it gets too heavy, you'll start doing the power rows. And that program, I swear by it. But that program, you only need to do that program once a week. But you have to be careful, because your back has to be strong enough. But you're crushed, absolutely crushed, especially once you're doing, think about it, if you're doing 315, 5 by 12 plus like 185, 5 by 12 rows for 10 sets, right? Because then you have overhand rows and then you have underhand rows. It builds your lower back like no other. And the issue for me nowadays, it's my lower back and my back are really strong. And my legs are secondary to my back, because what happens is when it gets really heavy, when I deadlift, I'll shoot with my hips back first. And then it's when you're like squatting up and down, you're kind of sitting up and down, but the rising part of it. But when I deadlift, once it get really heavy, I'll shoot my hips back first and then pull up with my back. So I'm not connecting it together, but the reason why I'm still able to do that type of weight is because my lower back is strong, right? So my core is weak and my legs are weaker. My core is the weakest and that's not connecting everything together. But it doesn't help that my legs aren't as strong as my back as well. So that's what happens, is that your body compensates with, whatever muscle group to pull the weight up. So for me, it's my back. I kind of always had that. So, but yeah, so that's why I don't wear a belt. It's kind of a long-winded answer, but there we go. Let me go check back the questions. Boom. She's got the whole fam in here. Jason, what's going on? Fitz, my man. Good to see you. Liz, good to see you. Razor Blade, it's been a while. Good to see you, my man. My dude, congrats on getting that job today. Thank you, Zach. It was a good time. I'm excited to start working again. They sent me all of the details in terms of, I signed the DocuSign and the independent contractor agreement, and then now I'm doing some modules and everything like that. So the cool thing is I have a mentor. So the mentor should be emailing me soon. So that's another resource for me to keep learning and to get in the field and everything like that. So I'm super excited. Cool. Jess, hi Vince, watching World's Toughest Race, but giving you some watch time. Thank you, Jess. World's Toughest Race. I've never heard of that. Maybe I'll have to look that up. What does a day in the life of Vince look like? A day in the life of Vince. Now, well, before it was study, YouTube. If I have time, like when I wasn't studying as much, I was doing a little bit more of my side hustles, just like selling stuff online. But nowadays, I wake up around 7:30, and then I wake up. I'll just do it because like I've only not been studying for the last couple of days, and then I would go straight to YouTube commenting, come back, and then study for a while, eat, work out, lift, come back, study some more, and then once I was done studying again, I would film my YouTube videos, because I come out with daily videos. So film my questions and then upload it. By the time I was done with that would take me 2 hours to film, edit, and everything. Then I would go cook dinner, eat, and then hang out with my girlfriend, hang out with my cats. And then that's my day. And then I've been doing that for the past month with the studying. But now that I'm not studying and I'm actually, this right now, actually tomorrow, I guess, would be the change of my schedule, because I signed on with a brokerage now and I'll be starting work. So probably it'll look a little bit different. So Dr. B, how many marathons have you ran? I've only run one marathon, actually, right here, San Diego, and also the bib is right there. I've only ran one marathon. That was last July 2019. And that was my only official race that I've ever ran, I believe. And besides, I think I ran a 5K once a long time ago, but I ran that marathon in July, and then I ran a self-supported 50 miler in September of last year, and then I ran a self-supported 100 miler in December of last year. And then as far as this year, I haven't ran any official races, but I ran run 10 miles a day for 30 days in the month of April. And then in the month of July, I did the Calendar Club Challenge, where I ran the number of miles on the given day of the month. So day 1, run 1, day 31, run 31, and then everything else in between. But when I say run, I also mean run, walk. I didn't run the whole thing. I think after day 20, I started 7-3, run for 7, walk for 3. And then a couple of days after that, I went to 6-4. So run for 6, walk for 4. So officially 1. I need to try strengthening my lower back. I have a lot of bad back pain, I think, carrying from a lot of extra weight for years. Yeah, I think that could be, I will definitely consult a doctor. I'm not licensed, or that's out of my wheelhouse to recommend you something. What happens as well is, because the reason people have, again, consult your doctor, is, in what I've learned is that people have back issues because your back is compensating for your overall core muscle. So what your body does is that it takes the path of least resistance, right? So when you think about when you're deadlifting and your back is rounding, it's because and this is my issue too, is my my core is not strong enough and I'm not bracing correctly. So what happens is my lower back compensates because as I'm pulling the weight, my body wants to just get it up and it will take the path of least resistance. So what happens over time is that because of our work, because of our daily jobs that we have, we're sitting in a desk, you'll have overactive, underactive muscles. And the perfect example of this is if you're working in a desk and then people develop what they call kyphosis. Kyphosis, think of the hunchback where you have rounded shoulders. It's because when you type, look at my shoulders when I type, right? It's gonna go into forward. And then so you develop these overactive and underactive muscles. So you need to undo that. But basically what you're doing is your body is compensating because your other parts of your body are too weak to continue the load. I mean, to like just do whatever activity it is that you're doing. And this could be anything. This could be walking. This could be just in your daily life. And that's why people have back pain, because you're putting too much stress on their back because you're not having a strong enough core. Again, I am not a doctor. I'm not a physical therapist. I am just a guy on YouTube. So definitely consult your doctor, physical therapist, or any other healthcare professional. Boom. One of the reasons I prefer squatting over deadlifting, less risk of injury. I agree with that. There's definitely a lot less strain, or just the back is very sensitive. So you have to be very, very careful with it. It's just one of those things. So I actually, man, I need to get back to squatting, but I can't have it all. Like I can only have so much. I can only run, jujitsu, and then deadlift. Cause I was thinking about, okay, squats or deadlifts. But for me, I was like, I'll choose deadlifts because my back is my strong point. So I'll go with that instead. All right. I purchased Keller Williams before. Good company. Nice. Yeah. I think find me that investment property, man. Yeah. I'll let you know. Let me get into it. Like for me now, like what's in my head, I passed the test, sure, but it's only textbook. Right. And just because you have the textbook doesn't mean you'll have like the actual knowledge, because I've talked to agents afterwards and, and then they're like, I have no idea, like that test, once you take the test, you're good. But it seems like it's one of those things where you take the test and it's the official things that you need to know, but it's not necessarily everything that you use on the job. So what happens is that they forget the material over time because you're not using it. But with that being said, I want to get like my feet on the ground and really learn the ins and outs, because I mean, I have the theory, I guess, but not the actual implementation of any of the practices so far. So I'll let you know. Mr. Consistency, congrats on signing on. Thank you. Yo, dude, congrats on the real estate exam. How is everyone doing tonight? Doing good. All right. Hey, what's up, Vince? At work, just want to stop by and tell you how much I enjoyed your collaboration with Dimitri. About halfway through, but I'm really enjoying it. Thank you, Anthony. And yeah, that podcast was way better this time. I was way less I was interrupting him a lot less, but my camera was out of focus. I'm like, oh gosh, I don't even know how to use my camera right now. So it's either one thing or the other. So, but this time I've definitely learned, and I just need to put my camera and actually look at my camera to make sure that it's autofocused. It's focused correctly. So yeah. So what's going on, Ryan? What's going on? The Essential Circle. Thanks for coming by to hang out. All right. So moving on to a few questions. So I answered one. The next question is from Francis Floyd. What is the worst video in your mind that you've ever made? This is kind of a hard question for me to answer, just because realistically, I made a lot of videos. I made 252 videos. But the honest answer is that once I edit a video, I upload it. Once I upload it on that day of, I'll rewatch it one time. I'll rewatch it one time just to make sure there aren't any edits or there's no reason that I need to take it down, because I've had to take it down in the past because because basically what I do is I just clip together. But when I film, sometimes, let's say, for example, I'm saying, let's get to some questions. First question comes from Francis. But in that same clip, I'll mess up and I'll say, let's get to some questions. I messed up. And then instead of like undoing the clip or pressing the record button to stop the clip, I'll keep going and I'll say, let's get some questions. First question comes from Francis. She asked, what is, and then, but within that clip, I'll get it correctly. Sometimes I forget to edit out the first or second time that I messed up. So I've had instances in that, and some of you have actually, because I'll upload a video and then I'll take it down because I watch it. And I mean, I should rewatch it when it's in editing, but I don't want to double X speed when I'm editing because then it kind of messes up everything because I already edited it in a certain way. So I like to watch it afterwards on double X speed. But I've had issues where I forget to take that out and then I have to take the video down. And then people are like, hey, your video is up, now it's down. Is there something wrong? Like, I was like, nah, I just messed up. I forgot to edit. So I have to undo that clip or clip it the right way, edit it the right way, and then re-upload it. And then when I re-upload it, then it's fine. And then that's why it takes a little bit of time. So in terms of going back to the original question of my worst video, after I rewatched that one time, I don't watch it ever again. I just don't. I just never have. And it's a little weird for me to rewatch some of my videos. Even some of my videos that are really good, like in terms of watch time and hours, like my jiu-jitsu videos, my BJJ white belt episode 1, that video has about 6,000 or 7,000, almost 7,000 views now. And that video gets me the most view time and the most views per month still to this day, every single month. And if I had to choose one, I would probably choose that one. But it's because I've actually, that's only one of the only videos that I've rewatched because I get so many views, likes, and comments every now and then that I'm forced to rewatch that video. And in that video, I'm just like, hey, what's going on, guys? Like, my name's Vince, and here's a gi. This is what a gi looks like. And I wasn't like up. It wasn't until maybe a few months into my YouTube journey that I really upped my energy. So nowadays when you see me, even now, I'm trying to enunciate a little bit more, have a little bit more energy. I'm naturally like this as well. I'm not like, hey, like what's going on? But back then I was also scripting. So that was like kind of a big issue. As if I scripted it, then if I didn't say it correctly, then, or like I scripted it. So I'm trying to read from the script but I'm also not trying to read from the paper, and I'm trying to like memorize it. So when I'm like regurgitating it, I have absolutely no energy. So to answer your question, Francis, probably that video, just because I'm like monotone. That's the video that I give myself like definitely like a D+ or a C- in terms of my overall presence or energy. But the value in that video is in the information. I guess that's what people like about that video. That's why it keeps getting me the views. So cool. All right, let me answer a few more questions before I get back to the comment section. What microphone are you using, UltraTrailSteven? So this USB mic is a toner USB mic. This is the one for my live streams. So I believe you're asking about the one that my normal mic that I use on my camera. I'll get into that one as well. But in terms of this toner mic, this one, it's about $42 on Amazon. It just depends if it's good for live streams, but it also doesn't connect to your camera. It's good for live streams, but yeah, I said that right. Because it's a USB cable. So with your camera, you can't connect USB. So just take that into consideration, because I'm not that good with technology and I had absolutely no idea. But I was like, oh, maybe I can use it for my camera, but it doesn't work that way, I guess. But so it's only good for your computer, and it's like a gaming / recording mic. And I actually don't mind the mic. Some people like don't really like it. Some people really want the ones that kind of like come down. So those ones that you see like on Joe Rogan, or just like professional podcasters, or just like podcasters in general, or people who have mics, those are the ones that it actually clamps to your desk. I decided not to get the one that clamps to my desk because I figure I would be, the space that I have is a little bit limiting, because at first I was filming in my office, but it's the desk is built into the wall, so it's kind of weird. So it would be like a weird angle for me. And the table that we have, that I'm recording off now, it's like a super nice table, and I didn't want my girlfriend to get mad at me because if I clamp it and then it scratches, and like I rather just get this one right here. So, but there's pros and cons about this one. With this one, if I ever go anywhere to visit any other small YouTubers and I want to do a podcast, hey, it's portable. The other one that clamps to the desk is not. In terms of the quality itself, I don't mind the quality. I think it's okay, but it's not. I don't like. For me, I'm not one of those people that are like super quality or super visual. Even for me, it's like if I just get the content out, that's good enough for me. And so for me, like it's good enough for me. So. And then in terms of my microphone that I use for my camera, I use a Canon M50, and then the mic that I have on it is a Video Mic Go, and then I have a Dead Cat on as well. So I like that one. The only issue about that one is that if I have my phone too close to me, it'll make that buzzing noise. But you can also cancel that out if you have some, like, I don't know, it's like that electric tape or whatever, like the interference tape, where you can tape it onto the mic itself or at the back of the mic so it doesn't cause that interference. So that's super annoying when that happens. And I actually didn't know. I thought it was just a normal thing. It was actually later on until I think Kevin E told me that. I was like, why is there a buzzing noise in my videos? It's because, when I was recording before, I would look at my notes and then put it in my pocket if it was a running clip and I had my jacket on, or I would simply put it on the side. So that's why you get that buzzing noise. And I sound like a noob right now, but totally I am a noob because I had no idea like that was interference. I didn't even know what that was. So 2 mics that I use. All right, let's get back to some of the live chat. So let's see, cool. How long does the video editing take you on average? On average, Ryan, it doesn't take me that long, to be honest with you, because I clip everything together. I try to have as minimally edited shots as I can, and because I try to have as minimally edited shots, I try to get all of my take in one take. So I don't like super heavily editing. Nowadays, I'll if I can talk for 30 seconds to a minute, that's good enough for me. But I don't do like, I won't, but I have to talk fluidly for the 30 seconds to a minute. If I'm talking not fluidly for 30 seconds to a minute, then I'll just redo the clip until I get it right. And then, cause I don't like filming a 10-minute clip and then going through and then editing it like that. I would rather just refilm the clip and then edit. And for me, my editing doesn't take that long. Honestly, it takes like 30 minutes because again, I clip everything together and that's about it. The longest thing about my editing, if I edit on my normal vlog, is my pull-up session, my pull-ups, right? So if I'm doing like a 9 screen or a 6 screen or a 4 screen, it's those split screens. It takes me a while because I have the layout already pre-made because I've made it a lot of times. It's just copy and paste. But in order to fit everything into a screen, what I need to do, and this is probably a good tutorial video, is that I need to minimize each frame, right? So each clip. So if it's a 9 clip, so if it's 3x3 9, I have to minimize each clip, 1, and then 2, I have to crop each clip as well to make sure that it goes in between the lines. Not only that, but in order for me to make those clips sync, because when I do the pull-ups, not all of the clips are the same length in time. Right. So if you watch a lot of my deadlifting clips or my pull-up clips, some move faster than others, right? Because I have to also speed up or slow down the clips so that they all match together. So what happens is I'll usually have 9 clips and they're all over the place, right? The first couple clips, like 3, 4, and 5, or like 1 through 5, they're pretty much the same speed because when I'm doing my pull-ups, I'm not tired yet. But when I'm doing like those later rounds around like 6, 7, 8, 9, that's when, the last pull up, I have to hang for a little bit just so that I can have enough energy to pull that last one. But if you look at the last clip, usually like eight, nine, those go by faster. It's not necessarily because I did those pull-ups faster. It's more because I sped it up, and usually I go like 120 to 125%. And then that's what takes me longer. So the more split screens that I have, the longer it takes me to edit. And that's why preferably nowadays, I like to do a 4 split screen. Because a 4 split screen is a lot less work. A 4 split screen, I don't need to crop, because if you minimize it to a certain amount, it fits in, and all I need to do is crop the length, speed it up, slow it down, and then crop the length there. So long-winded answer again, but yeah, if I do pull-up clips, takes me, like the pull-up clip itself probably takes me about 5-10 minutes, depending on if it's a 6 or 9 clip. If it's a 4 clip, it takes me like 5 minutes. Probably less than that. And then everything else, pretty easy. And then nowadays I don't do overlays, because I'm like, I got to come out with a video every single day. I try to do overlays when I can, when I have the time, but it also depends when the time is. Because if it's like, if I'm done editing a video at 5 p.m., I'm like, all right, I still have time. I can add some overlays, make it a little bit better. But if I edit everything because my day's been busy and it's 7 p.m., I'm like, I'm not gonna add overlays, because I gotta get this video out at a decent time. I want to get it out by 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And then also it's uploading time. Usually it takes, if I do a 10-minute video, it usually takes about an hour, a little bit over an hour. So yeah. All right, let's get back to some questions. Where was I? All right, I don't think people always understand how long it takes to upload and edit. Yeah, it takes a long time to especially upload and edit. And that's why you see me, I'm like really lazy with, it's like it's funny because I have things that I'm lazy about and I have things that I'm not lazy about. But the things that I'm lazy about, I'm lazy about. And it is what it is. And I try to be as efficient as possible, but it does take a lot of time. Yeah. Step up with Madhu. Hey, Vince. Hello, Miss Madhu. How are you? Name Twin, how are you enjoying YouTube Pro so far? Dr. B, how many days a week do you lift and run? So Dr. B, I run every single day. Lately, I haven't been running outside because of the the smoke from the fires, Northern California fires. It's a little bit just like smoky outside, so I don't want to risk it. I don't want to like do damage in my long runs. Do damage to my lungs in the long run. So it is what it is. It's fine. So really lately what I've been doing, I've just been jogging in place for a mile, but typically I'll run about 50 miles a week, and I run every single day. I also have a daily running streak, which started on March 29th of this year. So I've ran every single day since then. Nowadays, for the past like month or so, there's been a couple times when I run like 3 to 5 miles, but most days I just jog in place for a mile. And I'll track that with my Fitbit. I'm not my Fitbit, my Garmin. I've been wearing my Fitbit for like 2 years before I got this Garmin, so that's why I said Fitbit. But I wear this Garmin and just jog in place for a mile, and then I'll call that my continue my running streak. So in terms of lifting, I usually like to lift 3 days a week if I'm running 50 miles a week. Actually, probably like 2 days a week if I'm running 50 miles a week. Just really depends. Nowadays, I've been lifting a lot more because since I'm only running for a mile every single day, I have the bandwidth and capacity, at least my body does, to handle that load. I've also been doing a lot of pull-ups. So if you see my videos, Dr. B, I do pull-ups every single day, pretty much whenever I can on my daily vlogs, just because I have a pull-up goal as well to do 36,600 pull-ups, an average of 100 pull-ups every single day for a year. So that's my goal. So I'm a little bit behind right now. I think I'm about 1,500 behind, but I should be caught up end of the month, early next month. So nowadays, a lot of pull-ups. As far as deadlifting, powerlifting sessions, twice a week, 3 times a week. Damn, definitely need to change my editing style. Yeah, Drew. Yeah, your videos are like good quality though. It's like a lot of visual for me. It's just my face. It is what it is, but for me, it's like I'm so worried about continuing the streak that I don't even care about. For better or for worse, I'm so worried about the streak that I'm not too worried about like overlays and this and that, and like it's fine. At least in my head. Kiara asked, "What's your most favorite thing about YouTube?" So far, honestly, is probably the community, small YouTuber community. I feel like most of my friends, I mean, I have friends obviously, but you know, a lot of my new friends have been that small YouTuber community. It's been cool to meet like some like dope people and, you know, just share common thoughts. And, you know, it's also hard to understand the standpoint from a small YouTuber if you're not a small YouTuber yourself. They don't, you know, like when you're around family and friends, or at least when I am, they're like, oh, YouTube, like, but they don't really understand the grind that is YouTube, or what it takes to make one video or record or edit and all that. They just think it's, I mean, it's fine because it is what it is. But for me, it's been really cool to connect with people that especially are content creators that know what it takes to make one video. And in my opinion, you know, if you are a small YouTuber, a content creator, that also says a lot of things about you, because especially if you're consistent, right? If you're consistent, then, you know, because we all know that we have lives outside of YouTube, right? So it's like, oh, this person is making this amount of videos three times a week for a year, but they also have a life. So it's like that extra grind that you understand that the other person is putting in, or the time that they're putting in, and you respect that. And then it's also other, like when the people that you meet also, in my opinion, on YouTube is they're grinders, right? Especially again, as I said, the ones that are still here, that are still grinding on this journey, that are putting in work day in, day out, every, not even necessarily daily, it's just weekly of putting out a video, because we all understand that. And it says a lot about your personality. And with my personality, I vibe with people who work hard, right? It doesn't, and with whatever your craft is, I don't really care about what you do, as long as you are just you know, like putting in work towards your craft. Like your craft doesn't need to be my craft. I don't, like, I do running, I do jujitsu, but like Yara, you do skateboarding. Like I don't skateboard, but for you, it's, you're coming out with consistent videos, but also it's showing the hard work that you're putting in, like for your videos, but also skating. And that, I can vibe with that. I can connect with that, because it's more of, okay, you're a grinder. You're, you know, it just says something a lot about the other person on the other side, at least in my opinion. That's why I vibe with a lot of the small YouTuber community, even if we're not in the same like niche, or right, niche, whatever. It's because I respect the work that you're putting in, especially if you're still around. Because what happens as well, I'm sure you've all started to notice, is that when we started this YouTube journey, I started 5 months ago. People started longer. People started way before me. People started after me. But you'll see, out of 100 people, like not all 100 people are here 5 months later, 6 months later, a year later, right? It's so you'll see people drop off, right? That were there, that were really focused in, that were commenting on all your stuff, that were coming out with videos, and then all of a sudden, I don't know where they are. And then I'm also very happy when they come back, because I'm like, hey, I recognize your name, right? I mean, I remember that you were there supporting me when I had 250 subscribers. But you know, you'll see that as well. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but it's just one of those things that I noticed. And the game is of attrition. You know, it's just, you got to go for the long game. At least in my opinion, you know, find a schedule that works for you and upload based on that schedule to make sure that you can keep going in a year, 2 years. All right. Dropping in. Thanks, Kev, for coming by. Don't forget to like the stream. Yes, please like. Thank you, Liz. You are a professional streamer. I've actually learned a lot from your streams, and I always forget to tell people, hey, please like the stream if you can. Having YouTube friends is awesome. Hard to explain to real life. Yeah, I agree with that. It's hard to explain to real life friends. Yes. I totally agree. I found that many of my friends' family don't get as much, but the small YouTube, all you do, you all are so amazing. Yes. Thank you, Jen. I totally agree with that. I feel like most of us work on YouTube every day in some capacity, when filming, editing, commenting. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. It's, if you don't work on it, it's like the work piles up, or like, then you won't come out that video. And you know, and it's cool now, because when you watch a person's video, you can see, oh, like for my videos, it's more of, yes, I'm coming out with the sheer consistency, but in terms of the effort level that I put in my videos, I just clip everything together. So you'll be able to notice like, oh, this person put a lot of thought and a lot of work into this video. It's insane how much goes in. Yep. So if you see someone isn't active anymore, do you unsubscribe? Not necessarily I unsubscribe necessarily. But like if actually, to be honest with you, I've started to unsubscribe to people just because then this is and I do feel bad. I do feel bad because, because I was like, no, I don't want to do the sub for sub thing. And with the whole strategy of liking, commenting other people's, it's kind of a glorified sub for sub because also at the same time, I wouldn't have met all of you cool people. And, now we're all supporting each other. But I kind of had to go through that myself of learning how to, like, you're commenting on other stuff, you're subscribing to them. But nowadays, I've had the epiphany almost of, well, if I'm subscribed to you and you're subscribed to me, but you don't watch my stuff and I don't watch your stuff, it doesn't really help any of us. It more hurts us than anything. And I didn't unsubscribe to people for a long time because I was like, you know what, it's fine. But also, I started to unsubscribe to people because it was getting a little out of hand in terms of my subscriptions page. And my subscriptions page, when I go on there, it's just flooded with like content that I'm not that interested in, to be honest with you. But nowadays, like I want to clean up my subscriber list to where I actually am enjoying the content. And when I go on there, I want to watch each and every video. And not necessarily that I even have to be like super like into your content, but if I'm into you as a creator, if you're supporting me and I'm supporting you, then that's good enough for me. But I've been kind of going back and forth with this. Like, should you feel bad to unsubscribe to people? Yes and no, right? I mean, I do feel bad, but at the same time, like it's getting to a point where it's unmanageable. And it's one of those things is lesson learned. I shouldn't have done that in order to grow, but I did. So all I can do is say, I made a mistake. I'm sorry, but I'm going to unsubscribe to you. And obviously I don't message them that to people, but here's the message, and that's the reality of it is, so that's another tip to small YouTubers. When you're first starting out, don't do these. I mean, it's pros and cons. It's pros and cons because it's hard to meet people like you all if you don't do that. But at the same time, if you do that, then it's kind of a numbers game, right? So maybe like 3 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 are super cool people like you all, but the other 8, it's like a glorified sub for sub. But at the same time, like I want to meet you all cool people. I don't know. I don't have the right answer to it. I'm just giving you like my thoughts because I do feel guilty, but at the same time, I don't because I need to clean up my page and I want to, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. So. Perfect. All right, let's get back to the live chat. Yes, like the live stream. Dr. B, what is your favorite movie or TV show? Oh, dang, that's hard. Favorite movie or TV show? Favorite movie. Growing up, my favorite movie, D3 Mighty Ducks. I love that movie. I still watch that movie pretty much all the time. In terms of my favorite TV show, don't necessarily have a favorite TV show. But actually, that's a lie. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is probably my favorite TV show. I love that show. Probably Brooklyn Nine-Nine and then Friends. I'm a huge fan of Friends. Those top 2 for sure. And then Umbrella Academy is really good too. Not necessarily my favorite, but I also like really like sci-fi action stuff too. So join us tomorrow, Vince, please. Yes. What time is your stream, Liz? I have a couple of things going on in the morning, but if it's a little bit later, I might be able to make it. Put it down for everyone, Liz, in terms of your time, and I'll try to make it. Yeah, Dr. B, what's your guilty pleasure TV show? A guilty pleasure TV show. I mean, those that I mentioned, Friends. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Friends. Grew up watching it. I think that's part of the growth process. I agree, Zach. It's one of those things. It's like lesson learned, but what can you do? In order to keep moving, keep growing, it's fine. So not everyone likes day trading, but I still appreciate a like and a comment. Yeah. So, I mean, like with yours, like I'm luckily, like I'm not a day trader, but I enjoy the information that you present. And I'm also a fan of you as a person because we've actually connected outside as well, right? I mean, even like you support me, I support you, and then I'm a fan of you as a person. So no matter what content that you make, Zach, I'll be there to support you. So, because I'm not necessarily interested in day trading either, but for me, that's like one of my goals as well, is to get the person on the other side to buy into me as a person. So I hear it. Don't feel bad about it. You right. This agree. I don't think you should feel bad about it. I think it's part of the process. When are you starting at work? So I'm starting at I signed on today. They're sending me the modules today. So they have this like Express Academy, like the training process or whatever they want to call it. It's 3 days. It's online. So I'll be doing that next week, and I'll probably be starting tomorrow though. It's just a little. I have to meet up with my team leader, not my team leader, my mentor. So they're going to text me or call me or whatever it is, and then I'll be able to utilize my mentor, and then they'll like show me the ropes and I can ask them a bunch of questions. So I'll definitely let you all know though. All right. Topic: creating for your YouTube community. It's a good topic. I'll be doing my live stream end of September. Let's go, Chris. Question: what will be your working hours? Is it 9 to 5 gig or so? With real estate, it's 100% commission. So if I don't work, I don't make money. For me, it's going to be a 24/7. Whatever I can work, I'll work. So I have to work that out, but I definitely plan to work more than 40 hours a week. When I start working again, I'll probably wake up a lot earlier, around 6 a.m. 6:30, get in my exercise early, and then go straight to the office. But it's weird because I don't know if the office is open with COVID and everything, but I'll probably be doing that. So 24/7. All right. Get to some questions. I've only gotten through 3 questions. Wow. I'll try to speed this up a little bit. So running for my best life asks, Amazon affiliate program, does it matter how big you are? I remember when I first applied for the Amazon affiliate program, I was only about 250 subscribers and I got approved, but I've also heard a few people say that they got approved and then they got it revoked because they weren't big enough. I didn't look it up, to be honest, but I thought you only had to make three qualifying sales in 3 to 6 months. I forgot what the time frame is. I should have looked this up. But 3 qualifying sales, and I thought that was it. But 10, like it might not be. I would definitely look it up. Probably Google it or YouTube it. When you consider a job like sports coach or something health related, or something fitness related, from Go Kiwi. So in terms of like coaching and health and fitness related, that would be more of like a passion I could see of, hey, I want to be a coach. But in terms of career, I have absolutely no aspirations to be a coach or something sports related. To be honest with you, I just want to make boatloads of money, and money drives me. And I want to do what I like to, but to be frank with you, I am happy. I'm happy doing pretty much any job that I do that I've had. I've worked as a personal trainer. I've worked as a recruiter twice, and I enjoy the jobs. But actually, if I had to dial it down, it's more of I enjoy the jobs because I get to interact with people. And for me, I'm a social butterfly. I like talking to people. I like conversing with people. I like helping people out. So for me, the passion is in the people. So as long as I get to work with people, I really don't mind. But in terms of but also money is honestly a driving factor for me. It's not even the money itself. It's not what the money buys. It's the freedom that it buys. Right. So it'd be cool if I can get to a certain point where I can retire early and then just make YouTube videos all day, every single day, and I get to travel to whatever places I want to with whoever I want. So that's a big factor for me because it's the type of lifestyle that I want to live. I need to start my own business and I need to make millions of dollars. So there you go. All right. KickItWithDang, next question, asks, everything about starting a podcast. Yes, I thought about starting a podcast, though I just don't know what it would be about. I've actually been talking to another person about starting a podcast together, maybe, but he's busy, I'm busy. and we just haven't gotten around to it. But I mean, I want to, but it's like I'm so busy now that I really just want to focus on my YouTube channel. But at the same time, if I do a podcast, per day, like not like once per week, then that can be act as my YouTube video too. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it. Power weight training asks, are you doing anything to increase your pull-ups? To increase my pull-ups, I'm doing pull-ups. I just try to keep it simple. I try not to overcomplicate my program. Increase volume over time. If I do pull-ups, more pull-ups I do, the better. I know people can get crazy with their exercise programs, but I'm not a fan of getting too crazy with my exercise programs, just because you can do negatives, you can do this, you can do that, but just do more. If you want to do more pull-ups, do more pull-ups. If you want to get faster, just run. Like, I mean, for me, it's pretty simple. I really try not to overcomplicate things. I don't need to do pullovers. I don't need to do specific lat pull downs. I don't need to do good mornings. That's all great. Yes, but in order to increase my pull-ups, because that is one of my goals as well, figure I just do pull-ups. But I still have a general strategy, right? So, I try to do every third day, I'll go super hard in terms of my reps and sets. So, one day I'll do, the other week I did, or a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I did body weight times 6 sets of 30. 6 sets of 30, 180 pull-ups. The next day I'm not sore. But the thing is, when I go up to do sets of 15 to 20, I'll start feeling it. And I'm like, all right, now I'm stiff, because then I can't pull as much, because I obviously did 180 yesterday. So what I try to do is I'll do 6 sets of 30, and then take the next 2 days, do 8 sets of 15, because I can still do 8 sets of 15, no problem. And then on that fourth day, I'll do 8 sets of 31. I mean, not 8 sets, 6 sets of 31, and then 32, 33. So that's how I've been methodically approaching it, is when I am ready to do those days of pull-ups, when I'm going for 6 sets, because I can feel how many pull-ups I can do on a given day, on a given set. So usually I'll know by the first set. So today, for example, because yesterday I did 6 sets of 25. And 6 sets of 25, that's going to limit my pull-ups for the next day. So today I was like, all right, I don't know what I'm, in terms of sets, what I'm going to do. It usually works out to be every fourth day, but sometimes it doesn't. And I strictly really just go by feel. So I went up today and I was like, all right, I'm just going to do my first set. And my first set, I was feeling it at 15. I was like, all right, I'm just going to do 20. And I managed 20. And then I just did 9 sets of 20. So 8 sets of 20. So I did 160 today. So I did 8 sets of 20 and I called it a day. And then tomorrow I'll probably do the same, because usually I'll know how many pull-ups I'll be able to do per set based on the first set. But that's also affected by what I do the day before, in terms of running, in terms of powerlifting, and also in terms of the pull-ups. But 8 sets of 20 for me it's not really that bad. So tomorrow I'll probably be able to do probably right around the same, or maybe a little bit more. But I try to be strategic about it. Maybe tomorrow I'll do 8 sets of 15. So that's 120, because I need to average 100 a day, but I also need to make up the deficit. So I like to do over 100. But if I do too many, then the next day, then I won't be able to just do as many, I guess, or it limits my other exercise areas. So what I try to do every now and then is, just do 8 sets of 15 on certain days, and then do that for a few days. And then by the third or fourth day I do that, then I can do 6 sets of 30 again, or 6 sets of 31, 32, 33. So that's how I usually work back up to my pull-ups. It's all strictly by feel. I just kind of going round circles with that, but y'all know what I mean. All right, let's get back to some questions. Cool. There's a guy in Remax Calgary named Brad McCullum. He mixes his YouTube and his real estate stuff. Brad McCullum, I think is he the one that looks like Arnold? That's something McCullum. But there's this guy that looks like Arnold. He's a super big bodybuilder. So I'll look him up though. Thanks for the recommendation. Passion in the people. Closing lots, passion in people. Yes. People are my passion. Still going to hit you up about a podcast. Don't let Dimitri steal you. Yeah. That's funny. It's funny because Dimitri is the one. He also talked to me that before. I know Zach talked to me about it, but he talked to me about it before. So we'll square everything away. I was actually going to message you, Zach, about that. So just remind me, and then we can get something in the books chat in this weekend, maybe. So CL Furlong, I'm at a point 7 years in. I think making the switch from a corporate gig to a full-time passion pursuit and hustles. I see you doing this too. Yeah, I mean, for me, it is like YouTube is just purely passion, but also like YouTube for me is strictly passion, and you can make a lot of money off YouTube, but the type of money that I want to make is not necessarily like, I don't know. I want to make like millions, and I feel like it's really hard to make millions of dollars from YouTube. I mean, you can do it. People have done it, but I want to make millions. And then, for me, it's real estate is the way to go, because if I can get into commercial, if I can get into like apartment buildings, selling those types of things, it's all commission based. And then if you build a network, like build a strong base now, and then it's a web effect. So everyone wants to buy from you, and then it's a lot less work. You don't have to go knocking on doors, and then you don't have to cold call. And then, but it takes that initial legwork as well. So that's what I'm excited about. Dandy Bambi Mira, glad you can make it. Anthony Malone Money Mindset. Who you have tonight winning, KC or Houston? I have Houston, or it's LA, right? LA and Houston. Yeah, I don't know. I hope LA wins, and like LA versus LA would be cool. I really want to see that matchup. Is it KC or Houston? All right. Accused Financial. Oh, I know. That's a more good thing. More airtime. Cool. Agree, but also depends on you see YouTube as primary income or asset. Yep, I agree with that. I also think YouTube can be something to leverage my, because I feel like for me, I'm a vlog channel. So if I just go about my daily life and I mix in real estate as well, people will be like, oh, hey, Vince, he's a cool guy and he's genuine, and, I want to work with him. I don't really know him. I know him off YouTube, but yeah, we'll see. All right. Two more questions here, and run with bad. Why do you have so many masks? What made you decide to resell them for moving Jenn? And then how much the masks? So the mask that they're referring to is this mask right here. So I have these full face snorkel masks that I bought from China that I private labeled myself. And if you actually look at these online on Amazon, they're pretty much all the same model, or a lot of the brands have the same models, but they just put their own private labels on them. And doing this actually taught me a lot, because you realize that a lot of the brands, it's all the same manufacturer from China. So the quality is pretty much the same, or it is the same because it's the same manufacturer. They private label themselves. So the tripod that I have, I just bought the cheapest one of that same one, and it's worked great for me. In terms of why I have so many masks, it was just one of those things where I wanted to try out Amazon FBA. People are like, oh, you can make money off Amazon FBA, and I bought 100 masks. And in terms of where they came from, I actually have a friend in China, and I just wanted to try it out. But to be completely honest, my heart wasn't in it, and I just really wanted to make money. Right? That was my goal for the mask. So I just want to make money. I just want to make money from it. And it turned into one big headache, because I ended up ordering, so they have two sizes, small, medium, and then large, extra large. Large, extra large fits. And you would think a large, extra large, okay, someone has a super huge face, or small, medium could fit, like I have a small face, so I could fit a small, medium. But small, medium is more for kids. And then large, extra large are for adults. And I didn't know that. So I ordered 50 small, mediums, and then 50 large, extra large. And what ended up happening is, with the small mediums, I basically can't use them, because unless I sell them to kids, and I should have got like 80-20. but I didn't. Lesson learned. I glad I only got like 100 because I have been able to sell some on Facebook Marketplace. Because what happened was I sent them to Amazon FBA, and they were like, okay, because I sent it to them so that they can barcode it for me, because you can barcode it yourself or they can barcode it for me. So I sent it to them to barcode, and they were like, there's an error in your stuff and blah 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 blah, because the sizes, the colors, because I have two colors and all the different sizes. But there's just this whole big thing, and I was paying, because you have to pay for them to warehouse your stuff. And I was like, look, just send it back. And then so I had them send it back to me. So I just have boxes. And it's just one of those things. Lesson learned is don't get into some side hustles if you're not ready to put time into it. Yes, I've been luckily able to sell some of them on a Facebook Marketplace and eBay. But I still have 70 masks, and they're just sitting there. I don't want to throw them away because they cost me money. And in terms of how much the masks go for, I've sold them for about 25 bucks. So it's like 25 to like 27.99. And that's like, if you want to get it online. But nowadays I'm like, you guys just want to get rid of it. And I'm down to sell for like 20 bucks. 20 bucks, I'm still making a little bit of money. I think the mask itself costs like, I don't know, 14 bucks, 14 to $17, somewhere around there per mask, because they have to ship it over and everything like that too. So with the whole shipping cost, private label, all that costs like 14 to $17. And then now it's like, I really just want my money back. But now it's like, lesson learned, don't get into a project that you aren't super passionate about, because that's what I learned. And you can't just get it, because you have to put significant time into it. It's not just like, oh, you send it to Amazon and that's it. Some people it works that way, but for me it didn't. And just one of those lessons learned. All right. And then last question from, I believe this was from Augie Silver Fitness. He said, what would you advise a teenager who's thinking about going on to further education, learning from your own experiences? This is hard for me because it's a hard question to answer in terms of what I think how someone should educate themselves, because I went through college. I went to San Diego State University. I graduated in 2014, double major in Asian Studies and Sociology. Looking back on it, huge waste of money for me personally. I was able to experience life, and it taught me socializing skills, it taught me people skills, and that in itself was very valuable. Also, I was pretty involved on campus. I was a part of two fraternities. I was a president of an Asian club that was pretty big on campus as well. We had an executive board of 17 people, and then president of that, you have meetings every week, and you're planning like probably like an average of 2 events per week. So it taught you leadership skills, it taught you organization skills. That itself taught me a lot, and the experience was really good from college. But if you're talking about what I strictly learned from a skill standpoint from my classes, not really. But that's also because I studied social science, Asian studies, sociology. Do I use any of my sociology today? Not really. I'm glad I have the information in my head. I'm glad that I understand those concepts, because nowadays, I look at everything that's happening in the government. You kind of have what sociology does. It teaches you to kind of peel that back. Like, you can't believe everything that they're saying. You have to take a second look at it. And sociology taught me that. But with Asian studies, luckily, I went to China. I studied 2 years of Mandarin, and then I still use my Mandarin every day. But that's about it. But it's good general knowledge. But in terms of the education itself, in terms of just like the value, I guess it was kind of a waste of money for me. And I feel like if I would have, because for me, I also moved away. Right. So I moved away. I didn't live at home. I had to rent a place. So if you're talking about 5 years of that, of rent, of utilities, of all that, plus the education itself, it's a lot of money. And I feel like for me, I could have learned that for a way cheaper price. With that being said, that's been my own experience. And for me, it's because I didn't know what I wanted to do in college. I just knew that I wanted to be educated. And I'm glad I went through that experience because, I learned what I learned, but in terms of, again, the value for the knowledge itself, not really. But if you know what you want to do, I would say college is a good route. College is a good route for a few different things. If you know you want to be a doctor, if you know you want to be a therapist, there's no way to get there unless you go to school, right? Or if you want to get your MBA to like be a consultant or whatever it is. I just say that because Zach's on here. But if you have a game plan, then I think it's great. I think it's great. But if you're going, even if you don't have a game plan, but you study a major that has like potential to make you money, or like a lot of money, because again, money is important to me. Like if you study computer science and you're like, I'm not really that passionate about computer science, but like, at least if you're not passionate about computer science, you still be able to find $100,000 job afterwards. Like, but what happens if you study sociology? You don't know what you want to do. You got that piece of paper, but then after college, you're like, well, what kind of job can I get? I don't know, like, it's like some degrees are worth more than others, in my opinion. Those technical degrees, those technical skills, they're worth a lot, and it's easier to find jobs that way. But for me, if I had to go back, I wouldn't go back. I would not go back to school. I would not have wasted that money. I'm glad I went because I met a lot of good friends. I met a lot of good people. But also, if I had to go back, but it's also different, right? If I knew I wanted to be a doctor, if I knew I wanted to be an engineer, I would go to school. Depends on what you want. But for me, I had no idea, and it was kind of like I'm going just to go, and like I'll figure it out. But that's just been my own experience. So if I had to advise a teenager, because it's a long-winded answer, is it's easier if you like go to school if you know what you want to do, right? If you don't know what you want to do and you're just going for the sake of going, probably you take a second look, take a second thought. And nowadays, to be honest with you, you do not need a degree in order to make a lot of money. I'll give you a perfect example. I used to work at a recruiting agency. It was a healthcare recruiting staffing agency. And in order to get a job there, you did not need a degree. They preferred a degree, but you did not need one. If you had your associates, you were fine. I believe the minimum you had is associates, but you can get that with 2 years at a community college. And with a recruiter, it's all people skills. It's all like cold call, resourcefulness. It's all people skills. And you do not use anything you learn in college in terms of what you learn in the classroom, because in the recruiting arena, when I worked there, yes, there were people who it was a healthcare recruiting firm. There were people who had degrees in public health, right? But I had a degree in sociology and Asian studies. Other people had degrees in business. Okay, that might transfer, but other people had like random degrees like biology, right? Like biology, I mean, I guess, but like they were like just like random ones that it didn't really matter your major. And working as a recruiter, you can make, $50,000 to $60,000 in California per year. But the next level up is a sales manager, and sales manager, I'm pretty sure like it's because at a certain point when you realize, when I was in the firm itself, it doesn't matter if you have a degree, because the degree doesn't like say that person, that's a good person, or that person is a critical thinker or resourcefulness or works well on a team. What makes a good sales manager is not the degree in itself. It may help in terms of like some technical skills, but not really, maybe like 1%, less than 1%. But what makes a good sales manager is your ability to connect with people, the ability to drive a team, because that's what you do. What you had to do, at least a sales manager where we worked with, because the sales manager goes and gets the business, and then the recruiters staff the business or staff whatever clients that they have. But in order for I don't know. So the sales manager, the requirements weren't, it was an associate's degree, right? So, but the sales manager they start off like, I think like 70 to 80,000 that per year. But then as they grow their business over the next few years, you can make up to 120,000. And again, without an associate's degree, just depends. So nowadays, like that really opened my eyes. Like, yo, it doesn't really matter the degree. It really just matters your people skills. So it's kind of my answer. All right. Getting back to some questions. Checking in, Vince, just got home from work. Thanks for coming. A recruiter, it's more of the connection with people. It's your follow-up. It's your other professional skills. It's not like your degree doesn't really, in my opinion. So thanks, Chris, for coming. However, I do work for a private equity company and they are pretty strict on hiring, but the requirements, it can make them money. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have like a degree, like it's because a degree also says something about you. It's like you're actually able to grind through that process of 4 years of going to classes. It says something about you. But also at the same time, I've also met, some recruiters that weren't so good at their jobs. Just because they have a degree does not mean you are good at your job. Does not mean, it is what it is. It's so individualized that, it's yeah. All right. However, okay, I wouldn't say I regret going to school, but if I had a chance to do over, I'd probably pick a different career choice. My biggest cause for undergrad is networking and some internships, but that's about it. Yeah, I agree. Me and KickItWithDang, we went to the same school, San Diego State. And yeah, if I had to go through it again, I would definitely, it's just one of those things. It's my money could have been better spent elsewhere. If I knew what I knew today, of like what I wanted, I wouldn't have gone through all that. I think it would have been a cheaper way to learn. I mean, you can still go out, socialize, join clubs, go to meetings, Toastmasters to learn those skills. But we live and we learn. So cool. Well, that is all the questions that I have. And in terms of, well, we've been at it for an hour and 20 minutes. So appreciate you all for listening to me ramble about pretty much everything. If you can hit that like button for me, would really appreciate it. This was a fun one. And I think moving on forward towards next week, I will be like designating a time. I have to work out my work schedule, but it looks like it's probably going to be 6 p.m., probably a little bit 6 or 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just depends. Probably like Tuesday or Thursday. So I'll let everyone know what that time is, and then I'll just stick with that one time every single week, and then from there we'll just keep it the same time. So appreciate the time. Thanks, Zach. Thanks for sticking around this long. Thank you, Jen. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. And let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. I'll add it to my list of questions that I need to answer in my vlogs. And it was a good time. So see Malone Money, who you got NFL game. All right. I am going to take off. I'm a little bit hungry. And it was a good time. Again, thanks for tuning in. Peace out. Peace to you.